So this week, I'm bringing forth all authors who broke out of the shell of writing their book because I know firsthand when it comes time to writing your book, there's a whole bunch of voices going on, and I think it would be absolutely amazing to have Dr. Love Jones here tonight to talk about his book, Level Up: How to Live Your Best Life Now. Yes, 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 guys, please like, love, share. Get on the list. Go to TakiyahDiamond.com and text the word genius to the number that you see on the screen. Okay, okay, okay. But listen, tonight we have Javone, Dr. Love Jones, and Dr. Love Jones is going to be sharing with you guys his experience of actually taking action and writing his book and getting his book done. And, we may share some tips, tools, and juice for you guys to actually get started. Now, that doesn't mean we about to give y'all a whole lesson on how to write your book. No, we want to tell you why you need to tonight. That's what we going to talk about. And we got to make sure that for those of you who are still living in fear, still lacking confidence, and still lacking that perseverance, to at least give you the push that you need to go ahead and conquer that goal that you have of writing your book and becoming a published author. So, first of all, I want to celebrate Dr. Love Jones. Dr. Love, thank you so much for being here. Shout out to you. How are you feeling, Dr. Love?
Listen. Anytime we on this live together and we pop up, you already know what it is. It's like that. You know what I mean? You already know. It's like after the rain there's sun, after the sun there's rain. You already know what the cycle of life is. So when we pop in together, you already know it's gonna be something amazing, some gems gonna be dropped. And I think
For
and
sure.
that's important for everybody to learn about what they need to do as far as living their best life.
Yes, 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 yes. All right. So I'm trying to share this. I don't know if you got a chance to share it yet, Javine, but
Yeah,
let me
I
try to
shared it on my.
find
I
it.
shared it. I
You
shared it,
did?
and
Okay, hold on. Let me try to find it on love. Hey, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Share this live. Tag a friend. All that good stuff. All right. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue. So, Dr. Love Jones, tell us the name of your book and why did you title it the name that you titled it?
all right. So the book is called Level Up: How to Start Living Your Best Life Now. So the word level up, where I came up with that is because back in 27, the end of 2017, 2018, I went through depression. Right, I was going through what I it really was it was depression in the moment, but what I realized now years later, it was a breakthrough that just I needed to break through, and I had things that was just I was dealing with at that moment that I couldn't make sense of. Right, I was mourning my aunt. My life was not going the way it was. My income, I wasn't making that much income, and I came to realization that at no point in my life was I was making good income. And I had all this knowledge, this understanding of life, and it didn't make sense. So why I was struggling the way I saw it at that point in time, why I was struggling with just life and living, though I had all the answers, what I thought I had. So as I started to break through the depression, um, a mantra, level up, starts to um, become my motto, right? And that was what level up started to become for me, because it just, for me, it felt like something I need to do in my own life. I need to level up. I need to get to the next level. I need to grow. I need to just do some things on a higher level. So that was what level up meant to me. And then your best life comes from just at that moment of time, people was trying to live their best life, and everybody loved this idea of living your best life. And it was in
I'm
song,
living
it
my
was in
best life.
yeah,
I told y'all I'm living my best life.
yeah. So that's something that's been used. So I wanted to really write what it means to live your best life, because to me, what was being promoted and what I was seeing in everyday reality did not make sense. They was talking about they talked about, all these people, making this money, buying this car, living this lavish life. And those same people who was doing all of that was killing themselves, was literally died by suicide, right? They died by suicide. We recently had that happen with, unfortunately, Twitch, right? Where all the money, the happiness, and the success he had didn't bring him the peace within his soul for him to live life anymore. Even wife, family, all the things you would think is considered success, he had it and still died by suicide. So why I wanted to write this book is because I wanted to really get into delve on what it truly means to live your best life and not focus on just the glitz and the glamour, but focus on the real work that it is. And that's where my book comes in.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, what was the process like having having this dream to actually write this book, not really knowing where to start, but doing it anyway?
All right, so you already know this. I've been wanting to write a book since 2015, right? I feel like I was late as shit with this book, right? I feel like like I didn't because it was 2015. I only published 2020. It took me 5 years. But what happened was when I first decided to write the book, I had the right idea, wrong vibration. Right idea, wrong
Mhm.
vibrational place, right? I had to learn, I had to go through that depression, that breakthrough, that point in my life. I had to get because by the time I went to actually go in 2019, start writing the book, the way I perceive life could just change drastically. So now no longer I, yes, I had a book, but it was a completely different concept idea book than to the first book I was going to write. And that's why it meant more to me to write that book. And once I had that desire, that hidden drive, I just said, you know what? No matter what's going to happen, I'm going to write this book. And you get to that point where, yeah, you don't know where to start, but then you just start writing. Whatever comes to your head, whatever comes to your heart, just start writing. One of the things that I did was I outlined my book by listing all the chapters and all the topics I wanted to talk on, right? And from there, I went in order on what I felt was a step process on what it means to level up. So, I did the introduction and then process one. If you want to hear me say process a lot because instead of chapters, I use process. So process one is like chapter one.
Chapter
So
one, process one,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So when I get to process one, that's the first thing I want you to think about when it comes to living your best life.
Yes, yes, yes. So I love that because I also was growing through the process with you. I like to
Yeah,
say growing, growing
yeah,
through the process with you, which is one of the main reasons why I consider Dr. Love Jones to be my BSc, my best student ever. Uh, Javon had fears like everyone else. You want to do something, but then you have past judgments from other people and things like that. That can sometimes put a little damper in what you're trying to do, right? But it requires you to do exactly what he's teaching you in the book. It requires you to level up for yourself so that you're not infected by those people who literally wish they could do exactly what it is that he was doing, which was coming out, telling his truth, sharing his story. And one of the parts of Javon's story that I love was the fact that today he is officially a writer. Let me bring myself back on camera a little bit for y'all. Sorry. Today, Javon is officially a published author. However, when he was in school, He was told something when he was in school because something happened to him. And I want him to share with you guys that experience of where he was told to never do something. Yet today, he is a published author. Share that story with us.
All right, so one thing I'm gonna tell you is this, right? So in school, no lie, right? Like I was excellent in school, right? I went to this big time school. I was like balling, I was dunking on folks. Like I was just killing it in school. Education was top notch and all that. And trust me, all of that is a bunch of BS. That's a lie. That is not what really happened. That was not my story. But no, seriously, what happened was I was in special education from grade 1 to 12. From the time I went from graduating from kindergarten, I was later labeled a special education student. And being in special education, it really put a lot of I still deal with insecurities to this day just because I grew up in a special educated school system. Now, my situation was I didn't go to like a special ed class or something. No, I went to a whole school with with everyone in that classroom in school had some type of developmental issue, whether it's mental, physical, emotional. I was there, right? And I got to see all that. And that really affected how I saw life. And it made me develop and made me do my discovery of having imposter syndrome. It made me realize that I was literally being an imposter. I wasn't living my true self. I was afraid. I was timid. I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think I had. I always questioned myself. I was always comparing myself to other people and their success, and me looking at myself as, oh my, what's wrong with me? So that's one of the things I dealt with, and through work on myself and through the work we did as you went through that period with me, I was able to realize that I had to let go of a lot of the feelings and stuff. And so this one thing I want everybody to take this.
The
Yeah.
stories, right? The
So
stories.
yeah, absolutely. So this is what I want everybody to take away from this, right? So put me on the big screen, me, give me on the big screen. 'Cause- but but yeah. So one thing I would tell you is the one thing I want everybody to understand is this right here. Just because you deal with something negative doesn't mean there's not a positive outline within it, right? Every dark has a light in it, just like every light has a dark spot in it. And when you're going through a dark moment, you got to find the light in your story. So I'm going to tell you what it is. Though
Javon,
I,
Javon, can you hold your head up? Because you're looking down and they can't see your face. There you go.
okay,
Go ahead.
hold on. Let me
We
get
was
real
looking
into.
at the top. You looking at the top of your head, homie. I'm
No,
just saying.
I was trying to let y'all see the waves. I was trying to let you see the waves.
I'm just saying, we don't want to see the top of your
Mhm.
head. Okay? We want to see
Mhm.
your lips.
I mean,
Look.
wave check. No, but
Oh,
so no, but the point is, I want to tell you this, right? Every situation in life, whether you're going through darkness or you're going through a good situation, always have an opposite within. Look at the what's it called? Damn, I can't even think of it. Right? Um, the light and the dark, yin yang. What's that
talking about
symbol called?
duality?
No,
Oh,
what's that yin
the
yang?
not the eye. You
I
talking
can't
about the
even think about it. It's gonna
you talking about the yin
it's
yang
gonna
thing with
come.
the dot, the
Yeah,
black and white dot.
yeah,
I can't think of the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So I'm sorry. This is gonna eat me up.
Anyway,
Let
it's
me.
just duality. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
no, but the point is the point is this is that why I show you is that the yin yang what it does is that it shows you It has a light side with a dark dot in it, and on the opposite side, a dark side with a light dot in it. That's life, right? Life tells you even in darkness, there's a moon in the sky, and but no matter how black that sky is, there's a moon up there, and in your life you'll have a lightness. So why what do I mean by that? When I was going through special education, I genuinely had thought that was a dark period in my life. I was going to these schools, I was being told that I was not I cannot learn in a regular learning capacity. They said that I needed special treatment. I needed to be specially looked after. I needed to be because I couldn't learn like the regular kids, right? So I took that as a negative, right? I took that hard. Yin yang, right? I don't know. We were saying yin yang, and I'm still looking it up. Like, yeah. So,
Ask Shelly. Shelly,
so
she looked it up for you. She found it.
thank you, thank you. But yeah, so while I'm dealing with this, what ended up happening is I started to realize is that it they were right. I do learn different from everybody else. I do require special attention. I do require a special situation for me because I am special, right? It doesn't have to be a negative special. It's what I realize is that when I speak, it gravitates people to look at me and listen to me differently than everybody else. When I tell my story,
Right.
they give me special treatment. I am special in a lot of people's eyes. So maybe that situation was preparing me for this journey in life. And instead of me cursing and getting mad at what I went through, realize I was abundantly blessed and protected because I lived in Irvington, New Jersey. And trust me, I didn't growing up how I grew up, I was protected from not going to the public schools in Irvington and Newark, where last thing you're
Yeah.
doing is worrying about having a learning environment. So the truth is I was being protected and preserved for the mission that I'm living now and the work I'm doing now. And I had to learn to let go of the negative feelings because it didn't serve me to hold on to that. And that's why I had to learn going through that and being in the special ed system.
Yes. So I remember the part of your story where they told you you wouldn't be able to, what was it, to write? No, to speak, right? Because of.
Yeah, I had a speech impediment. So what it was, I was a stutterer. I had a stutter to me, and
Now,
I
I
was
love this, guys. Listen, this is the most very important part of this story that I wanted him to share. The
yeah.
fact that he had this issue and he was told XYZ. I want him to tell the story. But yet here he is speaking on stages. Here he is being a published author. So it does not matter what your teacher said, what your professor said, what your mama said, what your daddy said. It's a decision that you make. Go ahead, Javon. Continue to share.
So so I was diagnosed with having a learning disability and a speech disorder, right? I was a stutterer and I didn't have the ability to learn like regular, right? And what that really meant was I don't know what that meant. What I could tell you though now is this. I don't stutter now. I might fumble a word or stumble a word, but I'm not stuttering. I'm very clear and concise with my speech. I can talk very well. I can talk with the best of them. So it just took me to work on me and learn how to tap into my true hidden gifts, the gifts that was hidden behind the trauma and the hurt and the pain that I held on to. And once, because the truth is, I spent years being afraid of my own voice because I
Mhm.
thought my voice wasn't good enough. My voice wasn't strong enough. My voice wasn't this enough. My voice wasn't that enough. I don't want to talk because I probably talk too much. I probably bore people to death. I had these thoughts about it, and it came from those environments. But once I realized that I actually have, I'm far from I'm not learning disabled. I'm actually learning able. I'm one of the smartest people to a lot of people perspective. I'm really good at talking and giving great information. I've learned a lot and I'm able to help my clients and the people that I work with to gain a new perspective and grow within their field and become a better version of themselves. I could do that through my words and my knowledge. The two things they said that I wasn't good at.
Yes, 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 yes. And that's what I'm talking about, right? Being able to surpass whatever the story was behind you. Now, what I also love about working with Javon and helping him become a first time author um, was the fact that he understood that as he was writing the type of book that he was writing, that there was a shadow self that he had to deal with, right? Which he was kind of basically talking to us about briefly, the whole yin and the yang and right? But he has really done some shadow work. He has really, really, really put forth some work to not just get his book done, but just accomplish so much more. Now, let me ask you, how was the process with actually working with me with getting your book done and everything like that? Will you share with others what makes me your BCE? Since I'm your best coach ever and you're my best student ever, what makes me your BCE?
Well, I don't know. It's like, like when I called you, you never picked up. It was just a hard time. And yeah, I'm lying again. I just love to tell these lies. No, but working with the kid, honestly, one of the best experiences. I feel like for me, it would have been hard for me to write this book. I don't think I could have write this book without the kid because what happened was with all the lack of confidence and the writer's block and stuff, the conversations we had, some of the ideas, one of the greatest ideas that I tell other people when they write a book to do is one of the gems the kid told me. And for all you that's listening that want to write this book, I'm gonna share what Coach shared with me. She said, when you before you go to sleep, imagine yourself that door ringing and a box is waiting in front of your door. You open your box and there's your books inside. What does that feel like? What excitement that you're gonna have? What does that feel like in the moment? Picture that and remember that feeling because that's and from a person who was writing this book, at that moment I was going through writer's block. Or I was just blocking myself from that. So when she told me that, that kind of released it, and I had an extra motivation to get this book done because I wanted that feeling to be experienced in real time, because one thing I learned is that everything is created twice, first in mind and in physical reality. I had to create that experience first in my mind because once I created first in my mind, it became real. Now it didn't just become this idea of wanting to write a book. It was like, nah, I'm going to write this book because I know that I got something that's going to affect and shape and help people become better versions, which is going to change and shift this world in a new direction. And I want to be a part of that. So my desire got strengthened and deepened once I realized that, hey, I'm going to be opening that book, that box, and my books is going to be inside.
Yeah. Open up that box. See,
Yeah.
one of the biggest things, and that's what we're gonna talk about when we're gonna have class with you guys on Saturday, where I'm gonna be doing a workshop, an online workshop, where it's gonna be called "Stop Stalling, Start Writing," right? And going to actually share with you a few of the reasons why you have not taken action yet. And I will also give you an opportunity to be able to take action to get your book done. You'll have an opportunity to work with me, but you'll also have an opportunity to work with Dr. Love Jones as well. I am so excited about the team that I have of authors who are going to be assisting other people with becoming first time authors because it's showtime, guys. You can't keep your story to yourself forever. Somebody needs to hear your story, or somebody needs that skill that you only you know how to do so well, in your way, And so, whether it's helping people repair their credit, like Kaya, whether it's helping people break out of their comfort zones and level up, like Javon, whether it's getting your money mindset right or scaling your business, my job is to literally help you transform your brains, your business, and your bank account. And since I help you in those three areas, helping you actually write a book moves you from entrepreneur to authority, which is the subtitle to the training that we're going to do. Stop stalling, start writing. How to move from entrepreneur to authority by writing your book. And so, my main goal is to not just have you in business, but I mean, not just have you write a book, but to literally have you orchestrate a business. You see that amazing logo behind Javon, courtesy of yours truly, right? Tanisha fell in love with her logo. What I do with my clients is like I get into your vision, like I just kind of go into your soul and I just kind of see what is the vision that you can tell me what you tell me, but I'm going to deliver whatever spirit shows me for you. And I never had anybody that I created a brand for that told me I don't like it. Thank God. Not to this point. Not to this point. I have not experienced that yet. And I'm not looking forward to experiencing that either. But you know what? It's all good. I can take rejection. If somebody tell me they don't like something, I'm okay with it. I'm also okay with doing it until I get it right, or actually replacing myself with someone who is more skilled than I am to provide them with what they need to have done. So Javon, I know I jumped subjects, but I was talking about your shadow work, right? Tell them how important it is to do that shadow work. What did you learn? Just, I guess it's not even really about working with me, because after you work with me, that's when the shadows start to hit. That's when all of the stuff start to come out, because you get that
No,
first.
I'm gonna say this. I
Okay.
gotta be honest. I can't. That's not a true. Like I think when I was
Okay.
going through depression, I was dealing with shadow work, and it just at the time I didn't realize it was shadow work. It's doing the same thing I was doing then. Now it's but shadow work. Okay, so for everybody that understands this, we're going back to yin yang, right? Just like there's a light side, there's a dark side, and there's a gray side too. But we'll get into that another day. Your light side Your light side is the part that you want to believe is the true aspect of you, right? You
Yes.
are in love with this part of you because you like this trait. You show up. You want people to see this part because this is the part you feel like is truly you. And but then you have that shadow part of you that you don't think is not you, right? You hear people say is I'm out of character. Oh, that was not me. That was old me. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm sorry to break your heart. All of that,
That's still you.
all of that is you, right? But but see, here's the biggest mistake most people do is that they try to distance themselves from their shadow, and whatever you try to run away from will chase after you. You try to run away from your shadow will follow you. Try to walk away from your shadow outside, and you'll see your shadow right behind you. That's how it works. It's simple. There's the thing that you want to realize is that with shadow work is learning the dark aspects of you. Why do you get so annoyed when certain people do certain things to you? What is really causing the pain in heart? What traumas are you holding on to? What scars do you have that you haven't fully healed from? The what fears are you projecting into this world? What is stopping you from taking actions in on the things you want to do in life? What's stopping you from having healthy relationships? What's stopping you from connecting with the people that you need to connect to? What's stopping you from being the person you was manifested here to be? That's all because your shadow is projecting your insecurities onto you and
Yep.
making you feel insecure, making you feel like you're lesser, make
So
you
that
feel
you
like
don't
you
take action.
because here's the truth. Here's the number one truth about shadow work. Your shadow loves you. Your shadow cares for you because your shadow is you. You can never exist without your shadow, and your shadow will never exist without you. Oftentimes, the fears that your shadow or your ego self projects onto you is because that shadow wants to make sure you're safe. That shadow don't want you to go through pain. That shadow don't want you to feel rejection. So that shadow try to do everything to keep on holding you. But that's when you have your light side that's supposed to see past the fear and know that there's only prosperity on that side. There's only joy, there's only peace, there's only happiness. You might fall down once a few times, but it's part of the process of growth. It's to go through a little bit of pain, you know? So at the end of the day, we the part of the shadow is for us is to learn about it and accept it, not reject it, not curse it, not act like it don't exist. Accept it because it's part of who you are.
Agree, 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 agree. And I would add to that that your shadow is literally just like your internal GPS system as well. Just like fear. Fear is letting you know something is like danger, right? But the thing is it the fear, the danger type of fear, or is it the fear that's literally causing you to procrastinate and not take action because you're afraid of a result? Right? So if you see a lion, you better run, run, Forrest, run, right? If you see a lion. But
Facts.
you have to stop treating your goals. You have to stop treating your dreams as if they're a lion. That when you see them, the first thing you do is run, Forrest, run. It's not about running away from your dream. It's more so about running to your dream, driving to your dream, seeing the distance, seeing the depth of vision. And if we go deeper and we say depth of vision, you might see a tree, but when I see a tree, I see a chair. I don't see a tree. When I see a tree, I see something totally different of what could be made and create. I see paper when I see a tree. So you have to go deeper, go further. In fact, lift your neck up, hold your head high like a giraffe. You know how like a giraffe got a long neck? It can see above all of the chaos and the drama and it just keep walking. You gotta be like a giraffe. Hold your neck up. Keep your head high. Keep walking to where whatever is trying to stop you, you don't even see it. You're adamant about where you're going. And so I want to share with you guys that if you are ready to share your story, or I'm now, let me just be clear. For me, I only help people who want to do personal development books and self-help books. So meaning that if you have a story to share, but you will also like to help people heal from your story, then I'm the person that you would work with. But if you really just want to talk about how this man did you wrong, or how this girl who broke your heart, or whatever, I'm not the person to help you. I want you to tell your story of how you got your heart broke and what you did to heal it. And even if that process is something that you go through with me as you're reading, as you're writing your book. For example, tomorrow night I have Sandra Sears as an author who's coming on. Listen, if you got to heal through it as you're writing it out, then heal through it as you're writing it out because that's what writing is for. It's really to
Honestly,
help. Yeah, it's really to help
I'm gonna
you
tell
heal.
I'm
Right?
gonna
To help
tell you
you.
the truth. There's so true to that because I can tell you when I was writing process one is man in the mirror, right? And that's the first chapter. It's all about it's all about addressing. Kaya said it's all about addressing trust and building a relationship with all parts of yourself. All facts, absolutely spot on. So yeah, writing my first chapter made me do self reflection, and I realized during that same depressive period, 2017, late 2017, early 2018, I abandoned some people. I've messed up some friendships. I Because I was operating from such a low frequency and a low vibration that
Mm-hmm.
I end up ruining some friendships. And I made it right with three people. Well, I attempted to make it right with three people. Two people I was able to make it right with. Right, the third person, that's their limitation, not mine.
Right.
Um, so so for me, um, I was able to do right, and it helped me to heal and realize, I'm able to write what I wrote in that book. I refer to myself as something that a lot of people will not refer to themselves as, or refer to some part of them, because I was being truly honest about who I was in that moment. So
Right.
one thing I tell everybody is that when you're writing your book, especially when you're writing a book on your cert, it's going to help you to heal and work through some things, because now you're writing it out. You're getting all your thoughts and stuff on paper. That's a form of therapy itself.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So thank you, Javon, Dr. Love Jones, for sharing that and confirming that, backing me up on that. But guys, you don't be afraid to share your story. It's three main things that stop people from sharing their story, which is I want to talk to y'all about, but just to briefly just give it to you. Fear is one of them. Javon, what else do you think is a reason why they don't take action to write their book?
They say they don't feel they're worthy enough to write their book. They don't think people are going to listen to them. They don't think people are going to take their message serious. It's fear, it's doubt, it's insecurities. Those three things.
Yes. So in those situations, what do you recommend to somebody, Javon, who is hearing somebody tell them not to do something, but they feel it in their heart that they need to get their book out and that they need to
Let,
take action?
let's get into it, right? Imagine if the day you were born onto this earth, you are in the hospital, and the doctor doesn't show up because he was afraid that he was not going to be able to do his job correctly. What if you go to class, you sit down, and the teacher stays home because they don't feel they're worthy? Imagine if a police officer don't patrol the streets, firefighters don't jump into burning buildings to save people or to fight the fires. Imagine the people who have a calling and a desire to do the very thing in life, but they allow fear to stop them. If we were to think about all the instances in life where people, what if they were to let fear to stop them? What would happen? What if Martin Luther King said, "No, I ain't gonna give a speech because I know they're gonna kill me that day, so I'm not gonna go out there and speak." Right? We have to realize is that the moment that we don't, the moment that we start questioning our greatness and start allowing other parts of us to betray us to make us think that we're not worthy good enough, there are people who are being affected by your decision to not share your story. There are people who want to hear your story because you could probably save them. You could probably bring a new perspective to their life. You probably can help them in a way that only you can do it. And when you don't step into your true self, then those people are not going to get the healing from you. Maybe that assignment gets passed on to another one, or they got to hold that feeling. And the truth is, if you got a chance to share your story can help literally save lives, because
Yes.
your life was saved by that story. So my suggestion is, whenever you are feeling not worthy or feeling not, just do it anyway, and prove yourself wrong. Just do it, because the truth is, yeah, I could tell you from the other side, I'm still on cloud nine when it comes to people when they buy my book, when they want to read my book, when they get value, they tell me, "Oh, your book was amazing. Your book was this, that, and the third."
Yes.
That's still a great feeling because I it made me realize that hey, what my shadow was telling me wasn't true. It was just its own limitation. And the way you gotta look at life is never hold on to limitations of anybody else. Because the truth is, yes, the body is finite, but the spirit inside is everlasting, ever
Mhm.
present, ever
Every,
there. And you
yep.
can't limit that. That passion that's inside of me, you can't limit that. The drive and the desire I want to achieve what I want to achieve, you can't limit that.
That's very true. Very true. I think what Kai was saying is just let it in, let it out. Let it out, write it out, get it out. One thing I can promise y'all though is that once you start, the rest of it just comes out.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh yeah.
you'll be so mad at yourself, like, so why I didn't do this again earlier? Next thing you know, you got 3, 4, 5 book ideas that come in your head after you get this first one out.
I tell people right
Because
now, I got 5 book concepts right now. I got 5 books in me,
you got
guys.
5 book concepts, including a course.
Yeah,
You feel
courses,
me? You
you
feel
know.
me? So that's the power, guys, of sharing your story. Now, as I was saying, I think I changed topics a little bit, but um, the people that I help are either you have a transformation story that you want to share and you want to help somebody else get out of it, or just share your story because it transformed you and you know that your story can help to transform someone else. And I help people to write books that obviously I coach entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur, depending on the skill that you have, I help you move from entrepreneur to authority by writing a how-to book. So as Dr. Love Jones' book is How to Live Your Best Life Ever, right?
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Tanisha's
whoa, 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 whoa! You got the title wrong. It's how to start living your best life now. Get it right. Same time.
now, 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 right now. That means
No,
why you all jacked up. Right.
don't
That
matter.
means why you all jacked up, trying to figure your life out. Kaya says, just like the great Les Brown, famous, live full, die
The
empty. Don't let your dreams and goals
goes
die
die with.
with you. And it's so ironic
Hold
that
on,
Kaya
I
would
gotta
say
take.
that.
No, keep that up. Keep that up there. I gotta take a picture of that.
Okay, keep that
Let
up.
me get.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get a snappy snap of that. Let me no,
Definitely get a snapshot
because
of that
I'm gonna tell you that I'm
because
gonna tell you, but I gotta tell you, Les Brown is one of my biggest inspirations because Les Brown's
I
story.
knew that. Before you finish, I promise you, Javon, I'm so glad that Kaya put that comment up because
Yeah,
literally when I was telling you to tell your story about your stuttering and being in special ed and all of that is because I wanted people to see, I was going to bring up the comparison of you and
myself
Les
and Les
Brown,
Brown.
so to
Yeah,
speak. And Les Brown, even now with him being in a wheelchair, ain't nothing stopping that man. He's still going. He's still changing lives. He's still after he should never open up his mouth to speak and say nothing. And
yeah,
guess what? While Javon was stuttering and people didn't think he was gonna be able to speak, all right, or whatever the case may be, that is not the truth. So stop believing what other people tell you about you and start believing what you tell you about you. What are you saying about you? Are you really being who you truly are? Are you really being a writer or are you being an aspiring writer? If you're being an aspiring writer, that means that you don't really believe that you're a writer. Mm.
facts. And my message to anybody is this:
Writer's right.
don't let anyone's limitation limit your desire. Because if you have a desire to do it, then no one's limitation should ever cause you to do that. Because what happens is we take on other people's limitations to a point that we don't even know our true potential. Like How you don't know your true potential? How you know? Think about it. When you drive a car, you know when to make that turn. You
Yeah.
know when to avoid that car that might have tried to cut you off or stop short. You know how to when to hit the brake. You know when to turn. You already have, without even thinking, all the ways to maneuver a car. But you don't have the ways to maneuver your life and your mind to its will when it's yours. So my point is, at the end of the day, all you can do is realize that it is important to enjoy the journey, enjoy what you're doing, but never allow the limitations to limit you, because again, the spirit inside you is limitless. So as long as that's limitless, the only limit is within your mind, that's been
Yes.
programmed into you, within your mind, because the spirit knows, like, I'm ever expansive. You know, the spirit knows that. The truth is you, the mind, that shadow part of you, that need to learn that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Javon, we are coming to the close of our interview. And I would like to just have you give some closing thoughts on people who want to write a book. For those out there who want to write a book and are on the fence of hiring me as their coach because they never had a coach before. What would you say to them to inspire them and encourage them based on your experience? Why they should actually coach with me to become a first time author?
Here's the thing. I'm gonna be very honest. From a coach, I'm a coach as well. Trust me. You don't need a coach to do whatever you want to do. You could do whatever you want to do without a coach. You can write a book without a coach. There's plenty of people that has written a book that's without a coach. But the purpose of a coach is to help collapse time with information, right? Because the coach who did it has the information, has the time,
12
has the
times.
has the system, have all of that in place so that you don't have to figure that out on your own. You can
Yeah.
follow a system, follow a game plan, follow someone who's done it multiple times. That's what you want, and that goes with anything in life. So when you hire a coach, you're hiring someone to collapse time. Because here's the thing, time is more valuable than money.
Yes, it is.
Because, and for anybody that want to deny that, I'm gonna tell you this: if I give you $1 million, but you only can live for 24 hours, would you take that deal? I give you $1 million, but you only can live for 24 hours. Like you die after 24 hours. Would you
So
take
you
that
probably
deal?
won't spend it within 24 hours. You won't get
Yeah,
to enjoy
you won't enjoy it because
it.
you had it 24 hours. So my point is, time is always more valuable than money. You know, so you have time, but you got to realize that money can't buy time. Because the truth is, if you ever use your time wisely, you can triple, quadruple the money. It's
That's
the problem is that when we start to try to trade time for money, that's a bad deal. Trading time for money is a bad deal. So why you want to have a coach to help you write this book is because you want to collapse time, which you can help you get to that bag quicker. Because to be honest, it shouldn't took me 5 years. Having Takiyah as my coach shouldn't took me 5 years, but it did because of my own limitation and my unwillingness to really subscribe to the system.
yes.
So I'm telling you from lived experience, hire Takiyah, hire someone to help you write your book, because all you're gonna get is a published book and someone that's gonna show you a way to do it. That's all. And if that's worth it, then why not?
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
you won't get me on the sideline like, yeah, you got your book done. Yeah, you too. Like, you
Picking you
got
up
me.
like you
Yeah,
y'all gonna have Javon in there like Javon gonna be in your class like now write that chapter over. That chapter
listen,
ain't right. Write it
listen,
over.
listen. Ask Tanisha. Ask Tanisha. When she wrote her book, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm celebrating with you because I know the journey. So I want
Yes.
everybody to realize that when you have a coach, you're not only hiring a coach for what they know, you're hiring them for the people that they have helped too, that's going to help you.
Yes. And give you the confidence to know that it could be done. I can't even tell you, but I mean, Tanisha damn near took 5 years to finally get this book done because she been wanting to write a book from when she first met me, and she didn't do it. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. But guess
Uh,
what? When it finally set in, and she was like, I'm not gonna not share what I want to share no more. She said the only person she could think about was me. Like, I know coach will stay on my butt and make sure I get this done. So that's what I'm gonna do. And you know what, guys? I think that most of my clients, they love me because one, I'm real, I'm very real, very down to earth. I believe in tough love. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little tough love, but I'll probably give you a kiss on the cheek afterwards to soften it up a little bit. You know, if I could give you some words of encouragement afterwards, I would never leave you just down and out, but I will wake you the hell up. Okay, I will make you think on a bigger scale. I will cause you to kill the little you because you're gonna begin to play so big that you won't even realize that the little you is even there much anymore. It's more like the little you gets on board with the big you, and now the little you and the big you are teammates, and now y'all thugging this thing out, But it takes for you to literally have the right mindset to do that too, and I think that that's an add-on because I'm also I'm a mindset coach first before being an author coach. My whole thing is again transforming your brain, your business, and your bank account, right? So I transform your brain first because your mentality is everything. And if I don't help you change your mind, anything that you do in business will fail. So after I help you with your brain, then I assist you with your business, right? Do you have all of your credentials in order that you need to actually say that you run an official business? I know, for example, Shelly, Kaya woke Shelly up to the fact that she was thought she had a business, but Kaya had, brought it to her attention how if you don't have an EIN number, if you don't have, a business bank account, there's a lot of different things that come into play that if you don't have even just the EIN number alone and your registration, you're not in business. You have a hobby and somebody paying you a couple dollars to do what it is that you like to do, but that's not. It's not. You're not in business. With the people that come and work with me, I'm adamant about them setting up their businesses so that as a published author, now they can begin to get paid to speak, right? When you get paid to speak, if you're an authority, you have a book. Guess what? You might have used to charge maybe $500 to speak to a crowd, but now because you're an authority, you can charge 1,500. You can charge 5,000. You can charge 10,000. Hell, I'm at 25K. You want to talk to me? I need this amount of people, 25,000. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But a lot of people can't even see that. A lot of people's like, 25,000, like, for what? Guess what? You're not my person. Okay. you
yeah.
know? And
And then,
that's the truth of it.
and,
If you're not willing
and,
to pay to get the results that you want, I'm not the person.
and then the truth is, you realize one thing I could sit here and I could tell you honestly, right? When you around coaches that really on a higher level, you realize real quick how you don't belong in that room in that moment. Simply because the advice sounds good, but you have nothing in place to really put into action. That's
Yeah.
when you know you don't belong there. And that's why coaches cost is a higher price because the higher you pay, now you're more in position to put things into action, right? So
Yes.
that's something to think about. So Takai, to answer your question, is it's kind of hard to really put a number to it. What I would say is that I have different periods of the moment. I said I did a consistent 6 months of writing once I got locked in. and that's me covering majority of the book is within that 6 months.
I see that we got Malik up here. Malik is also an author. Malik Sanders. Shout out to Malik Sanders. Malik, you let me know, inbox me. Let me know if you want to come up this week and talk about your book. I want to talk to people about becoming an author, what it took for you to literally write your book and the confidence that it took, and all of that stuff, and all of the naysayers and the doubters. I know Malik had a lot of people who were up against the fence. But guess what? He got it done. He got it done. And so I'm definitely proud of Malik. So Malik, just let me know if you want to come on. It's this week only. I'm doing all authors. All right. I'm not to say that I won't ever bring another author on. I'm just saying I'm strategically targeted doing authors all week because I will be offering a program on Saturday for you guys to actually work with me to publish and profit from your very first book, becoming a first time author.
So I'm gonna
Right.
be honest with
So,
you. I'm
um,
hitting.
go
You
ahead.
hear
You
me
want to say
yawning? I got the yawns going. So I'm gonna say this final message, and I want to tell everybody where to get the book. So the last thing I want everybody to know is this, right? I wrote my book from a burning desire to want to share and impact the world. You have a reason why you want to write that book. What you got to do is this: you got to learn how to attach your pain to your purpose, because it's through that pain is where you find the purpose. So whatever pain you're dealing with in life, that you have to use that pain as a fuel to get you the purpose to write this book, because you know that you can help yourself or other people or loved one that you can help. So at the end of the day, just do it. Write the book. It's not hard. And
nah, it's not as hard as you think it is. Honestly, and if it comes across as if it's hard, it's only because you have a subconscious belief running
it's your
in your
limitation.
mind.
It's your limitation.
Yes,
And that's what it is.
yes,
So,
that's
what I
all
tell
it is.
everybody, this is my book right here, Level Up, How to Start Living Your Best Life Now.
Tell them where to find it at.
You can go to my website,
Hey,
Level Up.
Ursula.
What's up, Ursula? Go to my website, levelupbestlife.com. I would say it's Level Up Best
Let
Life.
me type it. Actually, Kaya could type it for you. What is it? Level up.
Bestlife.com. It's so easy. Levelupbestlife.com.
Levelupbestlife.com. All right. I tried to help you out. Hopefully, I got it right.
You did.
Hey, Mr. Love. I'm so happy to have you in here. So Ursula Chambers is also another phenomenal entrepreneur. She actually works with me with Coach Dorniel. Everyone, for those of you guys who don't know, shout out to Coach Dorniel Winningham out here helping y'all get this grant money for y'all businesses, and she's helping get your social media straight and all that other wonderful stuff. So she is also we share a business coach. Well, we share a wealth coach. That's what we share. And Ursula is so the bomb. Okay. So
Mm.
Ursula was definitely moved by your statement here, and you could go ahead and elaborate on that if you see, Javon.
Yeah, because we all have a pain. Our pain is what creates our story. The things that what's hurting you is a story that's attached to that. And with every story, there's an outcome. There's there's a conflict, there's context, there's conflict, and there's conclusion, right? Your story has a context where it's about the conflict, the problem, and the conclusion, how we get this. So at the end of the day, one thing I want everybody to do is make sure that whenever you're writing the book, don't run away from the pain. Use that pain, because that pain is the pathway to your purpose. You're not going through pain just to go through pain. You're going through pain because there might be some people that's going through that same pain that you got to help. And they ain't going to listen to you if you ain't been through it.
That's truth. That is the truth, the truth, the truth. Ursa said, "You better say it. We about to get this money." You already know. Okay, sis.
already know.
Guess what? Listen, guys, we gotta wrap it up because we reached the top of the hour. But Javone,